everyone, long time no see. Today's video is going to be dedicated to those of you with fine, very easily weighed down hair. I'm going to be recommending a number of products that I think would work very well for your hair type. If you're new here, hello, my name is Michelle. I'm a licensed hairstylist with over 20 years of experience, and on this channel I use those 20 years of experience to help you have healthy, happy hair. So let's just go ahead and get into this. And the first one that I'm going to start off with is actually a line of products, and it's the Evolvh line of products. And I have quite a number of Evolvh products. I really think that the whole line works very well for fine, easily weighed down hair because it is super lightweight. A lot of them have a good amount of protein in there. For those of you who have really soft, slippery hair, it adds moisture but doesn't seem to over condition the hair. And again, lightweight, so it's not really going to weigh your hair down. Now, I do have a few that I'm going to use as an example here. I have done a review on Evolvh products right up here. The first thing I'm going to talk about from Evolvh are their leave-in conditioners. Now, those of you with really fine, easily weighed down hair may not need a leave-in conditioner if your hair is overall pretty healthy. I know that in the curly community, a lot of curly hair influencers will say you need blah, 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 all of these things, but many people don't have to have a leave-in conditioner. However, the reason I like these is that, first of all, they're a spray leave-in conditioner, and we have the Smart Curl one here and the Smart Start, and then there is another one too, and they have varying levels of moisture, with this having the most moisture. However, they are all still very lightweight, and they come out as a watery spray, and all of them are like that. They also have UV protectant and heat protectant in there, so you can protect your hair, get some slip for detangling, give your hair a little bit of moisture but not over condition it, so you get to have all the good things with none of those things that are going to weigh your hair down and make your hair flat. And as I said, there is a third one here. I can't remember what it is. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen here. And they're very, very similar. It would be pretty hard to tell which one is more moisturizing than the other. At least on my hair, I can't really notice a difference, but again, I have coarse hair, and I think the Smart Curl one is the most moisturizing one, and then the other one that they have that I can't remember is a more volumizing one, and that one is going to be a lot more lightweight because of the volumizing aspect of it. So that's just something to take into consideration if you are going to be purchasing one of these. The next Evolvh product that I'd recommend would be the Insta Volume Mousse. So this mousse is a very lightweight, low density, kind of foamy type texture. I would show it to you, but I actually don't have any more in here, and my daughter does have the full size bottle, but it is one of those more foamy type mousses versus kind of a denser mousse that comes out of the can that like grows. So this is much lighter weight, much less dense, and distributes on the hair very easily. And it is moisturizing but not over conditioning, and is very lightweight and does help with the volume as well. And I would say that the hold factor on this one would be probably about a medium hold. So it's not going to give you a lot of hold. If you're somebody who likes firm hold, you're probably going to want to combine this mousse with another hold product to get more hold out of it. However, if you are somebody who doesn't really worry so much about lots of hold or lots of longevity, then this might be a product for you, especially if you really like your hair to look a little bit more fuller and more volumized. This would be a really good product for that. And speaking of making your hair look fuller and more volumized, but giving you a bit more hold, is their Dream Gel. And this gel has kind of a almost creamy type of texture, and you can see I'm almost out of it. So here's what that looks like. It looks more like a cream, but it does actually have a really good hold like a gel without the weight of some gels. So it's super lightweight. It's got really great hold. I would say almost a firm hold. This is a pretty good gel for my hair for the type of hold that I like to get out of it. And it gives me a ton of volume every time that I use it. And it does not weigh the hair down, does not over condition it. It really helps with a more voluminous, fuller look, which for those of you who have fine hair that is also low density, getting a fuller look might be something that you are wanting to achieve. And this would be a great way to do it, along with the Insta Volume Mousse. I think this is actually a really good combination for getting nice, full, voluminous hair with a little extra hold because of the two products combined together. And none of these products give any kind of crunch. So if you're somebody who doesn't like crunch in your hair, none of these products are going to give you that. So that's another thing to think about as well. And then on top of that, another one that I would recommend is going to be their Total Control Cream. And this is a styling cream. This isn't necessarily a curl cream. However, they do have a curl cream that I also like. However, I really like their Total Control even better. If you are somebody who has fine, easily weighed down hair that is soft and slippery, and you don't like using a lot of products and you prefer to go for something that's pretty much one and done, this was almost a one and done for me, and I am not a one and done type person. I much prefer to layer a bunch of different products in order to get the results that I'm trying to achieve. But this almost was enough to do it for me because it's got great hold for a curl cream. It's got great frizz control. It doesn't weigh your hair down. You get a decent amount of volume out of this. Overall, I would say this works really, really well for those of you who just don't want a ton of products in your hair. You don't want any kind of crunch or weight or too much moisture or any of the bad things. You just want nice, fluffy, voluminous, fuller looking hair. This would be a good way to go. Again, their Smart Curl Curl Cream is also a really good curl cream and one that I would recommend for fine hair as well. But I do think that something like this would work really, really well for those of you with the lower density hair that want to try to get some fullness. In fact, this whole line I think really works well for not just fine, easily weighed down hair, but also low density on top of that to help give your hair a little bit of plumpness, a little bit of fullness, and make you look like you have a little bit more than what you do. Next up is the Evolvh Uplifting Foam, and I'll just show you really quickly what this looks like. It's just your kind of, it looks kind of like the denser mousses. However, as you can see, it distributes and dissipates pretty easily. It's a little bit, not really watery, but it is definitely less dense. But if there was ever a product that was invented for fine, easily weighed down hair, this is the one. This one is great. This one also gives my hair a lot of lift and volume. I tend to focus this on the roots, and it's what I would recommend you do as well, because that's where you're gonna get the majority of your volume and fullness from, is from your roots, not from through here. This is what's gonna give you your lift. So this is where I would recommend using this. This is what it was designed for. And again, super lightweight. I don't even think you could overdo this. I mean, maybe you could. I've never reached that point. I used to use this on clients who had really fine, easily weighed down, low density hair, and it just gave them so much fullness and volume and just kind of oomph to their hair. It just worked so, so well. But this also works well on my coarser hair. It can work well on anybody's hair, but it is a really exceptional product for those of you with fine, easily weighed down hair. This next one is Keratin Hyaluronic Acid Detangling Spray. And now this isn't just a detangler, it's not just a leave-in conditioner. It is a leave-in conditioner that has a good amount of protein in it, which is great for those of us with really soft, slippery hair and have hair that gets over-conditioned easily and is in pretty good health and doesn't need a whole lot of moisturizing. Also, this is another one that has heat protectant in it and UV protectant, so you get all of the good things without any of the things that are really gonna weigh your hair down. So I just find that with this one, my hair gets really great frizz control, it gets the nice slip for detangling, and it has the protection that I want it to have, but it also is not making my hair extra conditioned and extra soft and slippery to where it's just completely unmanageable. So this is another one that I would highly recommend for those of you with fine, easily weighed down hair, just for all of those reasons. And especially if you have hair like mine that is really soft and really slippery, this really isn't going to make it more soft and slippery. It's gonna kind of help give you just a tiny bit of grit because of some of that protein and whatnot in there. So another one that I would absolutely recommend for all of you fine-haired wavies and curlies. And this next one is going to be another brand. It is the Rizos Curls, and I would recommend the Light Hold Gel, the Volumizing Hairspray, and their newer Curl Defining Mousse. And this one I have also featured multiple times on here. The reason I would recommend this is because of that word volumizing. It absolutely gives your hair lots of volume. It doesn't weigh your hair down, and it gives a good amount of hold. I really like using this on my damp hair before I diffuse my hair. That's how I prefer to use hairsprays, but you can also use this afterwards. I have sprayed this at my roots and then just kind of taken a blow dryer and dried at my roots while kind of giving my roots a shake to get some volume. And that technique is demonstrated in this video right up here if you'd like to see what I'm talking about. But doing so when your hair is dry at the very end can help give you a lot of lift and volume up and through here, which is then going to help give you just lift and volume everywhere. So this is definitely something that can help you with that without adding extra weight. And their light hold gel is kind of not named correctly, because I would actually say this is more of a medium to firm hold. And you can see that it's got, I think this is like a flaxseed type gel. And so it's got a little bit of a different texture. It doesn't have the same texture as some other gels or more typical gels. And this is absolutely brilliant. This one, I actually have it in my hair today. It gives you just wonderful volume. It doesn't weigh your hair down. It doesn't over condition your hair. It doesn't dry your hair. It just does all of the good things without any of the weight and gives you some wonderful volume. And it gives you kind of a medium to almost firm hold. So great product, perfect for those who have fine, easily weighed down hair. Honestly, this is one of those that's pretty universal. Anybody can use it if what you're looking for is that type of hold level, and it doesn't leave a crunch or a cast. So if you're somebody who likes a cast, you're not going to get it from this. If you're somebody who hates a cast, you're not going to get it from this. So those are all things to take into consideration. It's pretty universal. It works great on my coarse hair. It would work great for any hair texture, but is absolutely brilliant for people with fine, easily weighed down hair. And same thing goes for their new mousse. This came out new just this past year, but this one I would have to say has probably, again, kind of a medium-ish hold to it. And it's a foam that is, it's a lower density foam type thing. That's a technical term. Anyway, it's easy to distribute. It's really great for giving some good medium to maybe firm hold depending on your hair. And it's super lightweight. It is volumizing. I think this works great on my hair, on my coarser hair, and then I used it on my friend Nicole's hair. And if you want to see what Nicole's hair looks like in general, I unfortunately didn't film myself using this on her. I should have, because it turned out really, really nice. But anyway, so if you want to see what her hair looks like, I did a video up here demonstrating how I styled her hair. But she has very fine, easily weighed down hair that is also low density, and this just really nicely defined her curls. It helped with the frizz, and yet it also gave her some nice volume and some fluff and some fullness to her hair. So again, another really, really good one for fine, easily weighed down hair that is also really healthy, really soft, really slippery. These next products are basically an entire brand. It is the Trey Luxe brand, and we've got the Curl Supreme 4-in-1 Hydrating Cream, newer Soothe and Restore Curl Defining Mousse, the High Definition Curl Enhancing Styling Gel, and then the Reflex Curl Styling Serum. They do also have a shampoo and conditioner. Neither of those is really my favorite. The conditioner is a leave-in conditioner, and I know a lot of people who really like both the shampoo and the conditioner. It's just not my favorite. However, their stylers are amazing, and I really think that these work really well for pretty much all hair types, but definitely for fine, easily weighed down hair. Probably the one that works the best for the most easily weighed down hair is going to be this foam, just because it is very lightweight, it is volumizing, there is some moisture to it, but there's protein, so it's not going to be over conditioning and make your hair kind of really fall flat because of the over conditioning. So this is just a really great mousse for those of you who like kind of a medium hold and no crunch, and gives a good amount of volume so you can wind up with some really nice full hair. And now this Reflex serum, it does have a little bit of hold. It's a very soft hold, and the serum, it's actually kind of a liquidy kind of gel, but not really a gel. It still is, it's kind of a cross between a gel and a serum. And I just find that this works really well for frizz control, but doesn't weigh the hair down and gives a lot of nice shine. And it, like I said, it does have a little bit of hold, a little bit of soft hold, but not a ton of hold. It doesn't leave a cast or a crunch or anything like that. It just gives some nice, soft, bouncy, shiny curls, and is going to be something that you can also get some fullness and some volume from. And now, out of all of these products, I would have to say that this one, the Curl Supreme 4-in-1 Hydrating Cream, which smells really good, by the way, I would have to say that this one is probably the one that you might want to be the most careful with if you have really healthy hair that is super soft, slippery, very easily over-conditioned, and doesn't need a whole lot of moisture or conditioning to it at all. Because I would have to say this is probably the heaviest of the bunch, and yet it is still pretty lightweight for as thick and as creamy as it is. Like, you would expect something like this to be very heavy on the hair, and it really isn't. It's actually really quite light, but for the groups that I mentioned, if your hair is overall pretty healthy, and also if you don't like putting a lot of products on it, or you're just worried about over conditioning, this might not be the best for you. But it is a really nice lightweight cream, even though it doesn't look like it because of how thick it is. It's still a really good cream for those of you who have fine hair, but it's really great for, again, frizz control, for defining your curls, and just also adding a little bit of conditioning if you do need it. So if you are somebody who has a bit drier hair, this is going to be great. Actually, all of these products from Trelux are going to leave your hair in really good condition. They have a nice balance of both protein and moisture, so they're great for any and all hair types, and whether or not your hair is healthy or if it's a little bit on the drier side, they're going to be great for all of the above. And this is the High Definition Curl Enhancing Styling Gel, as I mentioned earlier. And now this one has kind of a custardy almost consistency. I'm not a fan of the fact that it's in a jar. I don't like things in jars so much. Creams I understand, but even then I'd rather have it in a squeezy tube if possible. But this I really don't get, and it's kind of a pain when you're like it. That's what it looks like. So I'm not sure why this is in a jar, but so we've got this kind of souffle pudding type thing going on here, and it does distribute through the hair pretty well, because even though it's in this jar and it's a little on the thicker side, once you emulsify it between your hands, it does get a little bit more runny, so you are able to easily distribute it throughout your hair. Now this does give a cast, or at least to my hair it does. So if you don't like a cast, I would recommend not using this. It has probably closer to a firm hold. I love the hold that I get from this, and I love the definition, and I love the glossy, shiny, just defined, juicy curls that I get from using all of these products, and also on top of it, the volume that I get. And again, I do have a video where I review these products right up here, so if you want to check that one out. But Trelux products have been a favorite of mine, I don't know, pretty much since I tried them. In my video, I mentioned why I don't like one brand wash days. And ever since that I started using all of the stylers together without the shampoo and conditioner, I don't have any more issues with it that I did in that video. I do absolutely love the stylers together, but I also like mixing and matching the stylers with other brands and other products, because again, that's what I like to do. To get back to today's video, Trelux is a really good brand for those of you with fine hair to check out. Again, you may not want to try all of the stylers all at once the way that I do. You might want to do a little bit of mixing and matching, but they are really good, surprisingly lightweight stylers considering how some of them look. This next product is also surprising that it would work really well for fine hair, but it most definitely does, and that is the Harry's Sculpting Gel. And now this is something that you'll find in the drugstore, in the men's section. This is technically marketed towards men. However, gel is gel. It really doesn't matter. Men can use it, women can use it. What I find surprising about this is that this is a thicker gel, and it is got a really strong hold with a good solid cast. And that's why I find it kind of unusual that it would work so well for fine hair. But given all that, it is not a heavy gel. You would think that it would be with how thick it is, but it absolutely is not. It's very lightweight. I like it on my coarser hair, but I've also seen another curly hair influencer called Hands Curls or something like that. I will put a link to her channel down below or whatever. She has very fine hair, and this is one of her favorites, and it works so well for her hair and does not weigh it down. So if you're somebody who likes firm hold and longevity and you like having a cast, then this might be a good gel for you to try. Again, it's in the drugstore, so you can't really beat the price on this. I can't remember what it was, but I will put it on the screen with the prices. But it's a really good firm hold, long-lasting, lightweight gel for a good drugstore price. Another really good drugstore find is the Hask Mousse. This is the Curl Care line Curl Enhancing Mousse. It is lightweight, it is volumizing, it has a lighter hold, so it doesn't have a very firm hold, which is fine by me because, again, I do mix and match and use other products, so I just use this with a different holding gel or something. Or if you're somebody who just likes lighter weight hold and you're not looking for longevity or anything like that, and you just want lighter weight, fuller, voluminous hair, then this is a good way to go. And I'll show you really quickly. This looks like your more typical mousse where you put a little bit in your palm and then it grows. But you can see when I spread it around here that it is super light and airy, which is usually a pretty good indicator of how light it's going to be on your hair. So mousses in general, mousses and foams in general do tend to be pretty lightweight and volumizing for the most part, more so than gels. Now, there are exceptions to that. I think one that's a little on the heavier side, but it's a really good mousse is the AG Mousse Gel. And that I think is slightly heavier. It's got a really good strong hold, but it is a little bit heavier. So the really, really fine, easily weighed down haired people might not like that one, which is why it didn't make this list. Just because I do think that for some people it can be pretty heavy. But in general, mousses do tend to be pretty lightweight, pretty volumizing, and anything that says volumizing is something you might want to focus on. More so than anything marketed for curly or wavy hair, just because your curl type doesn't really matter when it comes to picking out products, and a lot of it is down to marketing anyway. And a lot of the stuff that's made for curly or wavy hair tends to be really emollient and moisturizing. And those of you who have really fine hair, especially if your hair is healthy and doesn't need all of that conditioning, will find that those things might weigh your hair down. So it's better to look instead for keywords like volumizing or uplifting or lightweight, just because those are going to be the things that are not going to weigh your hair down and are going to help give you a little bit of fullness to make it look like you have a little bit more beefy hair than your little skinny fine hair, or to make it look like you have more hair for those of you who have low density hair. Next up, we have Surface Curls Frizz-Free Spray Gel. And this is, as it says, it's a gel in spray form. And it actually is not too terribly sticky, which is great. It actually doesn't start feeling sticky on my hand until it starts drying, which I like because it gives you a little bit of time to work with it. And now spray gels usually are quite lightweight because of just their nature, but they can also have some pretty strong hold. This one I would have to say is more medium to firm, kind of depends on what you pair it with. It depends on your hair too. On me, it's more of a medium, but on the finest of hair, it could be a little bit more of a firm type hold. And now, while I would recommend this one specifically because I really think that it's just a really great gel, it's got some decent hold, again, super lightweight, and helps with volume, helps with frizz control, like it says. It's just overall a really good spray gel. But in general, for those of you with fine hair and low density hair, especially hair that tends to dry really quickly, you might find that a spray gel might be your best bet. And here's why. So have you ever been in the shower and you like how your hair is clumping as it's soaking wet in the shower, but then when you get out and it's starting to dry, or you're working with it or whatever, that it tends to kind of pull the curls or the waves out of your hair because you're manipulating it as it's drying and you really want it to stay clumpy like what you saw in the shower, then something like this would be a good option for you, because then you can just spray it on when you see your hair as you like it, as it's sitting there completely soaking wet in the shower, and just spray this on, give it a little bit of a scrunch, squeezing out some of that water, and spray it on again, and then just leave it alone until you're ready to diffuse it or air dry it, whatever. But this way you can spray it on with the least amount of manipulation. And I explained that in my video that I did where I was styling my friend Nicole's hair, where I talked about not overworking fine hair too much, because of the factor that the hair dries a lot faster than something like what I have, which is coarse and high density hair. So if you have fine and low density hair that dries in about 2 seconds, you're not going to want to be manipulating it a whole lot because it's drying as you're working with it, and that can cause frizz. It can cause the stretching out of the curls and the waves instead of actually encouraging them. So doing something or using something like this where you can spray it on and leave it until it's time to dry it, or it just air dries and you don't have to manipulate it a lot, can definitely help with that, so that it can actually preserve those curls and curl clumps rather than breaking everything up, causing frizz, causing unwanted fluff, and causing frizz. Did I say frizz? Probably said frizz. Anyway, something like this can help avoid all of that. So if you haven't tried out a spray gel and you do have fine, easily weighed down hair, and you have the problem I mentioned where your hair dries as you're working with it and it just kind of causes frizz and fluff that you don't really want, maybe give a spray gel a try. This one is a great one, but there are other spray gels on the market, and I would definitely recommend giving those a try. The next two products are InnerSense products, which is one of my favorite brands, but I would have to say that these two products right here are the ones that I would recommend the most for fine, easily weighed down hair. I probably said that 20 times in this video. You could even do a drinking game on that. I don't know. If I could figure out how to do a tally on here, I probably would. This one right here is called I Create Lift, and it is a foam, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's another one of these where it's just a really light, airy, not very dense foam. And this does give a lot of volume. It doesn't have the strongest of hold, as most foams don't. However, their other foam, I Create Definition, has a really, really, really strong hold and gives a cast. And this one doesn't have that level of hold and no cast. And I would have to say, out of all the products that I have been showing and will be showing in this video, this is the one that does not work for me. All it gives me is frizz. But a lot of people in my comment section that have fine hair, and other people that I've watched that have fine hair, use this and get great results with it. It does give a lot of volume and a lot of fullness, and for the most part, for most people, it gives them some pretty decent, nicely held, frizz-free, voluminous results. So if you have fine hair, and I think that's probably the big thing, I don't know, I haven't seen too many people with coarser hair trying this out or anything, so it could just be that my hair and this foam does not get along. But for the most part, I usually just get frizz from this. I've tried it throughout my entire hair. I've tried it just at my roots to give some lift. It definitely does that. It gives me volume every single time. Just for me, it also gives me a whole lot of frizz. So apparently this and my hair do not get along, but that's okay, because I know that it gets along with a lot of other people's hair, and I do think that it would be a really, really great foam for those of you looking for some volume and some fullness for your fine hair. And then the other one that I have here is I Create Volume Gel, and it's almost gone. this little sample that I got, or travel size that I got. This is a liquidy gel, which is my absolute favorite consistency for gel. I love liquidy gels because they're so easy to distribute through the hair. And this one absolutely gives volume. Now, as far as hold goes, it is on the lower end of hold, so like medium to soft hold, and it doesn't give any kind of a cast. But the amount of volume that I get from this is just, it blows me away every time. I'm actually really surprised because I don't expect that so much in gels versus foams. I expect that out of foams. I don't expect that out of gels so much, but this absolutely gives my hair some great volume, which is why I keep using it, and why when this is gone, I think I have this much of it left. I'm gonna have to order it even before then. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more even before then. Super lightweight, easy to distribute, great volume, nice soft hold. And for those of you who don't like a crunch, this isn't gonna give you a crunch or a cast or anything like that. It's just, honestly, it blew me away, and it still blows me away. I highly recommend giving this a try. The other thing I like is that it does come in the travel sizes, so you can try it out before you purchase an entire bottle. The next one is actually a category of product, and that is going to be salt sprays. And I have a number of them here, and this isn't even all of them. My daughter actually has one of my other ones. She has a tendency to try things and then I don't see them for a while, and sometimes I get them back with hardly anything left in them. You can tell she really liked this one. So the reason why I'm recommending salt sprays is because salt sprays give your hair a little bit of grit and grip, which if you have fine hair, and especially if it's really soft and slippery, that grit and grip is really gonna help give your hair some volume and some fullness and a little bit of oomph to your hair. And a lot of these, their main ingredient is magnesium sulfate, which can help shrink the bonds in your hair temporarily, which will help to kind of spring up the curl a little bit, so they can be curl enhancers as well. And I'll just show you the ones that I do have right here. However, I won't go too much into what each one of them does because I do have a full video all about texture sprays in general, comparing the sea salt sprays to volumizing sprays to curl enhancing sprays, and that video is right up here. And I did do a mini review of all of the hairsprays that I have in that video, but this one right here is the Rizzo's Curls. This is a newer one, and it, as you can see, it's much loved by both me and my daughter. And the thing about these sprays is that none of the ones that I have tried were drying at all. They just enhanced the curl, gave a little bit of grit and grip and some nice texture. They're great for spraying on wash day to get that little bit of texture and volume. And they're also really, really good for refreshing on days 2, 3, 4, whatever. They work really well for that too. So you can just spray it on, give it a scrunch. And I even talked about that and demonstrated that, I think, in that video as well. So like I said, this is the Rizzo's Curls Beach Spray. And then we have the Verb Sea Spray. And now this one is becoming probably a fast favorite. It's one of the ones that I reach for a lot, like even more so than the Rizzo's one, which is mostly empty because of my daughter. But this is the one that I haven't even given her this one yet to try because I'm afraid I'm never going to get it back. But this one I reach for most of the time. I really need to stop doing that because I really have some great ones here and I need to stop favoring one so much. But after trying all of these sprays for that video and in the time since then, when I wash my hair, I'd say more than 50% of the time when I wash my hair, I put this on. And I have been using sea salt sprays on my hair every single time that I wash it ever since I started testing these out for that video, because I love what I get out of them, the volume, the springiness to the curls, the curl enhancing, the little bit of grit and grip so that my hair is not quite so soft and slippery. It's just all of that. So the Verb one is amazeballs, and I keep going back to it. Another one that is also quickly running out and that I reach for not quite as much as the Verb one, but almost as much. And that is the Bumble and Bumble Surf Spray. And this is the OG that came out in the early 2000s, I think 2001, and kind of started the whole thing. It is another absolutely amazing one as well. I'm going to be saying that a lot. These are all amazing. They're all really, really good. So those are the more expensive ones. And then I also have two here that are more budget friendly. We've got the Not Your Mother's Texturizing Beach Babe Sea Salt Spray right here. And again, it's a great sea spray, or great salt spray. It does all the same things. It doesn't dry your hair. I would have to say that on the grit scale, and I went over this in my mini reviews, I would have to say that these are a little bit more on the grittier end than this one. This one tends to be slightly more moisturizing, which is why my daughter likes it. Even though I don't see this as something that is gonna weigh your hair down, if you don't need that extra moisture, you might wanna go towards something that's a little bit more gritty. And then these, I would have to say, more gritty. This one's more moisturizing, this one's more gritty. But they're both great. And this is the Eva NYC Lazy Jane Salt-Free Wave Spray. So both of those are excellent, and you know, they're great quality and at a really good price point too, and pretty easily available in the drugstore. So I would definitely recommend giving sea salt sprays, even curl enhancing sprays and volumizing sprays. I would recommend giving those a try as well. And I did already mention this one as a hairspray, but it doubles as a volumizing spray as well. So those types of things are really, really great for those who have super soft, slippery hair where your hair really has a hard time holding on to its own curl and wave. Those sprays are great for help giving a little bit of extra volume and a little bit more fullness, and they give your hair a little bit more texture, and they can give your hair a little bit of a lived-in look as well, which gives it that beachy vibe where your hair kind of starts to look like you've spent the whole day by the sea and you didn't, you just put a spray in. So those types of things, texturizing sprays are great for fine, easily weighed down hair, for fine hair that is super soft and slippery. It's great for coarse hair that's super soft and slippery. It's great for any hair. Honestly, everybody should be using sea salt sprays as far as I'm concerned, but that's just me. And last but not least, I also recommend Evolvh Ghost Oil for scrunching out any crunch if you have any, or for sealing everything in, a little bit of shine, all of the above. It's just a great finishing product, and it is weightless. It says it's weightless. It is absolutely weightless. The shampoo and conditioner, the Evolvh Ghost shampoo and conditioner, are also really good for fine, easily weighed down hair. I have my friend Nicole using those two, and they work great for her hair. They're not over conditioning. They're not too much. They're not stripping. So that is a shampoo and conditioner that I would recommend. I do use the Evolvh Ghost shampoo myself, but not the conditioner. I have a different conditioner that I like. But for shampoos, if you're looking for shampoo recommendations and conditioner recommendations, the Evolvh Ghost shampoo and conditioner are great for fine, easily weighed down hair that is also low density. Nicole's hair is low density, and it works wonders on her hair, and it does leave her hair nice and healthy and in great shape. But beyond that, for recommendations with shampoo, I would highly recommend getting ones that are actually more on the cleansing end rather than the emollient end, just because all of those emollient moisturizing properties are going to make your hair a little bit too conditioned, too soft, and it's going to cause your hair to kind of fall flat. It's going to cause it to lose its curl or its wave. It's not going to hold on to it. It's just a little too much with the moisture. So look for something in a volumizing type shampoo, or something that's a little bit more even clarifying for that matter, and more cleansing rather than moisturizing or gentle. And then when it comes to conditioners, again, go with something lightweight. You can even use a leave-in conditioner as a rinse-out conditioner, or you can skip the conditioner and use just a leave-in conditioner depending on the condition of your hair. If your hair is overall really healthy, and again, super soft, slippery, fine, very easily weighed down, then using either a conditioner or a leave-in conditioner, but not both, might be your best bet. And for fine hair that is not damaged or dry, I cannot stress how much you do not need to use deep conditioners, like hardly at all, if ever. If your hair is in good condition, you absolutely do not need to deep condition. I know that there's kind of a standard recommendation of deep conditioning once a week for anybody who has wavy or curly hair, but that's not true for everybody. fine-haired people, it's just going to be too much for your hair. And even those of us who don't have fine hair, but our hair is overall pretty healthy, I very rarely deep condition my hair myself. I go months, I've even gone years without using a deep conditioner on my hair. As long as you're using good products that keep your hair in really good condition and you're not damaging it with heat or chemicals or anything like that, a deep conditioner is something that you probably don't need and might want to stay away from if you find that your hair is constantly getting too soft, too weighed down, and doesn't want to hold its curl and lets it loose all the time and feels just almost mushy like just because it's so over conditioned. So that might be something you would want to stay away from as well. So those are kind of just little extra tips for how to work with your fine, very easily weighed down hair. And that concludes my list, and this is by no means exhaustive. There are a ton of products out there that are really good, and it's just a matter of finding them. These are just the ones that I have, that I've used, that I personally would recommend. As a licensed hair care professional, I highly recommend giving any one of these a try on your fine hair. Like I said, tons of products out there. This is just a small list. I could go on and on, but let's not have a 5-hour long video. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.